should just tell you to leave, cause I know exactly where it leads, but I watch us go round and round each time.
Taylor Swift is one of the rare artists whose journey transcends music and enters the realm of cultural dominance. She has evolved from a teenage country singer with a guitar to a global powerhouse who not only dominates charts, but also influences industries far beyond music. Her empire is now valued in the billions, and it was not built overnight. It is the product of strategy, resilience, creativity, and a keen understanding of business that very few entertainers possess. This is the story of how Taylor Swift built a billion-dollar empire, and it reveals lessons that reach far beyond the entertainment industry. Taylor's journey begins in Pennsylvania, where she was born in 1989. From a very young age, she showed an unusual determination to make music her life. Her parents noticed her passion and supported her dream when she was only a child, even moving to Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of country music, to help her pursue opportunities. This decision is one of the earliest examples of how Taylor's story is marked by bold moves and commitment. At just 14, she signed her first music publishing deal and began writing songs professionally. It is this foundation of songwriting that would later set her apart from so many others in the industry. Her debut album, released in 2006, made waves in the country music scene. Songs like Tim McGraw introduced her to a wider audience and displayed her storytelling ability, which resonated with listeners. Unlike many artists who rely heavily on producers and teams of songwriters, Taylor had an authentic voice as a songwriter, writing or co-writing almost all of her early music. This authenticity is what began to build a loyal fan base, one that connected with her words on a personal level. By combining relatable storytelling with catchy melodies, she created a formula for success that many would try to replicate, but few could master. By her second album, Fearless, Taylor was no longer just a rising country artist. She had become a cultural phenomenon. Fearless became the best-selling album of 2009 in the United States and won 4 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. What made this moment significant is that it showed Taylor was not simply a one-hit wonder. She had the power to dominate charts, sell out tours, and win the most prestigious awards, all while maintaining her connection with her fan base. This combination of commercial success and critical recognition positioned her as a force to be reckoned with in the industry. But Taylor Swift's empire was not only about music sales. She was already laying the groundwork for a broader influence. Touring became a massive part of her strategy. Her Fearless tour was the first of many stadium-filling experiences she would create. These tours were not just concerts, they were carefully designed spectacles that made fans feel like part of her story. By focusing on live experiences, Taylor tapped into one of the most profitable aspects of the music industry. Concert tours became a reliable source of revenue, but more importantly, they built emotional bonds with her audience. What separates Taylor from many others is her ability to evolve. She is not content with staying in one box. After conquering country music, she made the bold move to transition into pop with her 2014 album, 1989. This decision could have ended her career if fans rejected the shift, but instead it catapulted her into an even higher level of success. 1989 sold millions of copies worldwide and solidified her as one of the biggest pop stars of the generation.
Everything you do is a standing ovation on your first record if you're having that breakthrough record.
Songs like Shake It Off and Blank Space dominated airwaves, and the album earned her yet another Grammy Award for Album of the Year. Reinvention became one of her key strategies for maintaining relevance and expanding her empire. Now here's where things become even more interesting. Taylor is not only an artist, but also a savvy businesswoman who understands the value of ownership. For years, artists in the music industry have been trapped by contracts that strip them of control over their own creations. Taylor famously entered into a public battle over the rights to her master recordings when her former label, Big Machine Records, sold them without her consent. Rather than accept defeat, she announced she would re-record all of her early albums to reclaim control of her work. This bold move shocked the industry, but inspired countless artists to rethink their contracts. It also created a new revenue stream for her as fans eagerly supported her re-recorded albums, proving that her influence could reshape the entire industry. A huge component of Taylor Swift's billion-dollar empire is her relationship with fans, known as Swifties. She treats her fans not just as consumers, but as a community. She often interacts with them on social media, sends them personal gifts, and even invites them to her home for secret listening sessions. This level of intimacy makes her fans fiercely loyal, willing to support her in any venture she undertakes. In the digital age, where fan engagement is crucial, Taylor has set the gold standard for building and maintaining a devoted audience. Taylor's songwriting deserves special mention as a cornerstone of her empire. She writes about her personal experiences in a way that resonates universally. Whether she is singing about heartbreak, friendship, or personal growth, her lyrics connect deeply with people across generations.
Are you ready to go back to high school with me? You're on the phone with your girlfriend. She's upset. She doesn't.
This storytelling ability not only creates hits, but also fosters a sense of authenticity that enhances her brand. In an industry often criticized for manufactured music, Taylor's songs feel personal and real. Here is something you may not expect. Taylor Swift is also a master strategist when it comes to her public persona. Throughout her career, she has faced controversies, from public feuds with other celebrities to criticism of her dating life. Instead of letting these challenges destroy her, she often turns them into creative fuel. For example, her album Reputation emerged after intense media scrutiny, and it became one of her most successful projects. By controlling her narrative through her art, she has turned potential setbacks into opportunities for reinvention. Real estate has also become a significant part of her empire.
Touch me and you'll never be alone. I'm island breeze and lifestyle. No.
Taylor owns multiple properties across the United States, including lavish homes in New York City, Rhode Island, Nashville, and Los Angeles. These properties are not only personal residences, but also valuable investments that continue to appreciate in value. Real estate adds another layer of stability to her financial portfolio, ensuring that her empire is not solely dependent on the unpredictable music industry. Taylor's ability to adapt to the digital age is another reason her empire thrives. When the music industry struggled with the shift from physical albums to streaming, many artists saw their revenues shrink. Taylor, however, embraced the change while still advocating for fair compensation for artists. She temporarily pulled her music from streaming platforms to protest unfair practices, but later rejoined when the industry adapted. This balance between advocacy and adaptation shows her ability to navigate shifting landscapes without losing ground. As we reflect on Taylor Swift's rise, one thing becomes clear. Her empire is not a product of luck or overnight success. It is the result of relentless work, fearless reinvention, and a deep understanding of both artistry and business. She is not just a pop star, she is a visionary who has reshaped the industry, empowered other artists, and built a legacy that will endure for decades. The story of Taylor Swift is the story of how passion, strategy, and resilience can turn dreams into a billion-dollar reality. Before we end, here is something worth thinking about. Taylor's empire continues to grow, and she is still in the prime of her career. If she has already achieved billionaire status at this stage, what heights will she reach in the coming decades? For now, what we can learn from her is that success is not about one hit, one tour, or one deal. It is about vision, adaptability, and an unshakable bond with the people who believe in you. Taylor Swift's billion-dollar empire is living proof of that truth.